Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is Claire and this is going to be a video for the astrology and pick a card for the week of July 13th to the 19th. Great, so it's been a little while since I've done one of these, so we'll just kind of see how things flow around. It's gonna be fun. I'll start by saying today when this video goes up, Mercury goes direct, which is so exciting. We do have the shadow period for a few more weeks, so we're going to be still working out some kinks over the next little while, but we are going to start to notice a little bit more frictionless movement, which I know we've all been really excited about. Let me see, today as well, when this video goes up, the moon is still in Aries, so it's a really nice time to be using physical activity to be expressing emotion, a really nice time to be asserting boundaries, and a really nice time to just be kind of like playing. Really nice time for that. This week there are only 2 days that I really want to kind of talk about astrologically. On the 14th, we have the sun squaring off to Jupiter. So this is one of those aspects that can be really challenging for anyone who has a tendency to go to extremes. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and then the sun is all about our ego. So really what we're going to be working with is trying to look for ways to channel our agitation into creative outlets. I think about this aspect as kind of when there's a lot of like discomfort kind of in the moment, sort of like feeling really restless. As a aside and a shameless self-promotion, lavender is our herb for the week, and it's going to be really helpful for working through this energy. I'll put the link for that in the description box down below. And I really like to think of it as sort of like when you feel like a sense of like you're ill at ease and you just like kind of don't feel like you can sit in one place, like that restless kind of energy, that's going to be these extremes of energy, and finding ways to channel that into creativity and like just kind of evaluating what's already on your plate before you like take another helping is going to be really good, and it's going to really help us not get in over our heads. Okay, like Jupiter opposing the sun is like we will want to take on a lot, it's that expansive Jupiter energy. We also have kind of this whole week, today on the 12th, it's exact, the sun is trining Neptune. So this is like the daydream aspect. I like to think of it as kind of like there's a lot of optimism and a lot of like compassion that we're going to be able to tap into right away. With this sun opposing Jupiter tomorrow, it's going to kind of feel like those dreams are just like, they might kind of take over. The next day, however, on the 15th, we have the sun opposing Pluto. So all of those dreams that we just talked about, they're going to have to find legs, they're going to have to find integrity, and they're going to have to find ways to be pared back and to be planted in very subtle and useful ways in the day-to-day life. So when I see this aspect in someone's chart, and I have something really similar in my chart, I have the sun squaring to Pluto. This is often, like people often interpret this person as being too much. And there's a little bit of a dialogue in our culture floating around, if someone is too much, or if you're too much for other people, you should just cut them off. And as someone who has worked through that kind of like their entire lives, it's not really a useful approach. So I like to think of this as like when you have a lot of like, when you have a lot of power, when you know that you have an idea that is very useful, very potent. Again, this is going to be all of those creative expansions like from the day before. Don't dim your light necessarily, but also don't pretend that you aren't aware of your effect on other people. So this to me is like when you know that someone might not be ready for all that you are, instead of holding that against them, or feeling like, at a disadvantage in that relationship in some way, I like to think of this as like when right before a star explodes, it grows inwards. Can you see my hands shaking? I've had a lot of coffee this morning. There's that pressure goes inwards. Again, this is like to form a diamond is like very cliche. There's a lot of pressure exerted, but the light is focused is the point. So there is a focusing of energy and a focusing of what you would like to communicate to people. So really, really makes it useful for planting seeds. You know, maybe this person isn't ready, or maybe the situation in your life isn't ready for the full expression of everything that you are in your wonderful, wonderful self. And that's okay. There are people out there that are going to be ready to handle that and who are going to be there with you. But on the 15th, we're definitely going to have to be finding ways to plant the seeds for those situations and for those people so that when they are ready, that's already going to be there for them. And it's not going to be something that is going to be so explosive and overwhelming. And, you know, like we want things that are useful and, you know, aren't going to be isolating us from our communities as well. So that's kind of it for the astrology blurb. Let's get into the tarot. I'm also going to have to pick a card at the end of this video. So timestamps for that will be in the description box down below. Feel free to check it out if you don't want to watch this whole video. And let's get into it. All right, what are the collective energies for the week of the 13th to the 19th? I'm gonna jump for just a sec. And that was the King of Cups. Nice. All right, what are the collective energies for the next week, July 13th to 19th? We got some. We got some. All right. Okay, we've got the High Priestess reversed. We've got the Page of Swords reversed. We've got the Six of Swords reversed, and we have the Hierophant reversed. Okay. 4 reversals. No big deal. No big deal. Like I was saying before, channeling that energy inwards, finding the truth of it within yourself so that you don't have to be expressing it loudly necessarily, but definitely finding useful and safe and like practical ways to express your ego is what these cards are kind of telling me. With the Page of Swords reversed, we might be dealing with a young air sign, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I kind of feel like this is going to be actually us, though, integrating new ideas into our own psyche. Reversal to me is, you know, taking that energy and putting it inwards. We have, as well, with the Hierophant and the Six of Swords and the High Priestess, I feel like there's a lot of, like, spiritual growth that's going to be happening for us, but it's going to be happening internally, and there's going to be a change that will need to happen as a result of it. Like, there's something that'll shift for us, and we know that it has to carry us out of our current circumstances. We might be in circumstances that we know don't serve us, things that don't really align with our true purpose, and we might be having a lot of mental clarity about that. And we're just kind of like putting the pieces together about how to make that transition in a useful kind of way. This Hierophant can also be a Taurus. You might be dealing with I'm feeling like this feels really like spiritual training to me. And I feel like some of us might be kind of like fighting it in some way. I feel like some of us might be trying to find ways to, you know, deny what our truth is in some way. We might be looking for ways to bypass it in some way, or avoid this transition that this Six of Swords is trying to have us go through. It can as well express in the opposite way. So just feeling really cut off from our emotions, you know, like, or feeling like just very clear about what we want in our minds, that we lose sight of why we need other people in our circles is kind of what I'm feeling like. So community-oriented stuff this week, learning how to make space for ourselves and for others, that kind of stuff. Nice themes. We're still in Cancer season, so I mean, that's going to be a thing no matter what. All right, this is going to be to pick a card now. Let's get into it. I'm feeling like, too, this is going to be a little bit of that sun trining Neptune. Sorry, it just like caught my eye, so I have to talk about it now. So I feel like this is, again, expressing our egos in a compassionate way, really like tying our sense of self to like a marriage of spirituality to ego, and like really having it be something that is cemented within our identity, like feeling a sense of pride maybe in the way that you're able to communicate with compassion. We also have the moon is sextiling, I don't see it there, but I know that the moon is like sextiling Mercury in the next couple of days too. So like good, nice themes with that. All right. Finally, this is going to be the pick a card. I get the collective messages for this week, please. Again, timestamps for your card are down below. To pick your card, you can just take a nice deep breath, pause this video if you like, and then whatever number comes into your mind first is the one that you need to be watching. Well, need to be. Would probably be best served by, let's say that. All right. What are the collective messages? Okay, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. All right, away we go. So this is going to be you, card number 1. We have the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. Going to be collaborating with somebody this week, card number 3. I feel like there's going to be a new project underway that you're going to be having a lot of discussions with people about, in which you may be in the role of the learner. This is some place where you find a mentor and then receive mentorship, advice, creative insights from them. I feel like with this card, I don't want you, I want the hush. There's going to be a lot of like really interesting discussions. I feel like they're going to be really inspiring for you. I think of this as the card of vocation every time I see it. So like if you're having a difficult time making a decision around like, what do I want to do with my life? There are some people in your wheelhouse. I feel like this week, the discussions that you're going to be having, as long as you're open to them, will definitely give you some more clues along the way of how to work towards that long-term goal, of how to work towards being in a life that supports your vocation. Again, this is going to be working out the finer details. This is going to be connecting to people who you respect. I feel like this is going to be you finding people who are on your level, who are able to meet you where you're at and give you, this is the 8 of Pentacles jumped out. So a card of work, a card of creating long-term structures. And for some reason today, I feel like this is going to be something that is unprecedented. I'm just kind of noticing how this character is carving something out of the dark. So something that is maybe hidden in your subconscious, or like is just never been done before in like the way that you're going to do it. I feel like this character or this idea that you're bringing into reality today, you're kind of taking that rough stone and you're just chipping away at it. You know there's something in there, there's a diamond in there, there's a beautiful statue that you want to create, but you're just kind of, you're sloughing off the things that you don't need in order to define the hard borders of what it is that you do want. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting from this. And like they're really, really mirroring each other, So yeah, it's a pretty clear message, but let's get one more card. And there it is. Okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Cool. Daily habits. Awesome. My shaky coffee hands. This is so funny to me. So for you, I feel like if there are things that you have in your life, which are like hobbies that you like to do that involve your hands in some way, I feel those are things that you will be working with this week. I feel like this is very much a material oriented week for you, very practical, very much about getting your hands dirty, getting your hands into it, and really like, if you're a painter, this is time to paint. We have some really, really creative days this week, and you're going to be able to channel some really new and exciting things. But if you're like working on developing a new project, this is going to be you like getting out your lists and like developing things in a way that are concise and you're able to work with them. yeah, like I'm feeling it's like all hands on deck for you this week. And yeah, it feels really sustainable and great for the long term. So, I mean, good for you, card number one. I'm excited for you. That's it for you. Let's go to card number two. We have Judgment for you, card number two. All right. So, the dead are coming back to life, hey? It is Judgment Day. It is time to account for some reason for you, I'm feeling like this is the mountains that you've crossed over in the past, or the large projects which you have wrapped up and completed and are putting in your rearview mirror in some way. And you're just taking that last look to be like, what did I learn? How did this serve me? In what way did I cross over that mountain range? Did I put in the work to really be, achieving something? I feel like for you this week, your efforts are going to be either found wanting, or you're going to be really, really rewarded for the work that you've put in the past. And it's really looking to me like it's not ego at all. Like it's very much, I'm just noticing how these figures are very naked. Okay, so like this is something that has been honest effort. This has been something that is like sincere and authentic and innocent in a way. Very much something that has to do with why you express yourself the way that you do. So you may have been, breaking the rules a little bit in the past and doing things that were a little bit, I don't know, like a little bit off the beaten track. And this week, there's going to be a lot of like return on that. There's going to be people who are like, okay, like I identify with you because you're showing me this side of yourself that I maybe haven't seen in other people, or that invites me to have honesty with myself. So you're going to be able to like have those kind of conversations with people where it's like, atonement is the word I'm getting. Let's clarify this Judgment card for you for this week. Okay, we have the Six of Swords reversed for you. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Hanged Man. Interesting. So I feel like you were in a state of non-action for a little while. I feel like there was some opposition that you were facing in your life in some way, and you were maybe not engaging with it for a little while. Maybe just because you just didn't know what to do, or it seemed like confusing, and you were just like so enmeshed in it that was like, like that kind of like, what do I do now kind of feeling. I feel like that's coming to an end for you. I feel like you're finally ready to be going through this transition, whatever it is. I feel like you're starting to understand the nuts and bolts of like why you were refusing to accept the changes at hand, maybe, or like accept that your circumstances were keeping you in a place that felt like a trap. Like it just felt like a trap, and it felt like very entangled. And I feel like this week you're going to be battling yourself out through that. I feel like you're going to be really looking at the way that the people in your world either enable you to move forward, or keep you kind of in a place that's not very nice to be. What else can we say about this? Card number two, I also feel like there might be some difficulty for you with like asserting yourself sometimes in your peer groups. And I feel like you're kind of at that point where it feels less important to you to be fighting with people who maybe don't see you for your true self, or you've kind of got a different perspective about them this week, and you're kind of like recognizing that they aren't always showing their true colors to you. And you're drawing that line in the sand, and you're saying, I'm not going to necessarily engage with these people to make them be more themselves. I'm just going to be myself, and I'm going to use my energy to emancipate myself from that. And like, it feels like you're just kind of like elaborating on who it is that you're in your heart. Yeah, there's like a den of thieves kind of situation I feel like you're in right now, and it's looking like this week you're gonna need to be able to set some boundaries within yourself about how you feel or think about people, and then how you're going to approach those relationships in the future. Yeah, this feels very like, just, it doesn't feel like picking fights, but it does feel like just redirecting your energy, like one brick at a time, taking all of the investment that you maybe had in something and just like, taking it from here and putting it here, and just like getting it more in line with where you need to go next. Okay, that's it for you, card number 2. Salvata. Okay, this is you, card number 3. We have the Chariot reversed for you, card number 3. Okay, a lot of strong personalities in your field right now. I feel like there's an imbalance maybe between someone's talking voice and someone's listening voice. Could be you, could be somebody else. Kind of feel like it's you. Sorry, I thought my door was just opening and I was like, what's going on? I feel like there is an abundance of like optimism in your current situation that I feel like you're focusing on, and I feel like it's and I'm gonna kind of call you out, so like, I'm sorry, but I feel like this is one of those situations where you've been focusing a lot on what's possible, and you haven't really taken into account where things might fall through the cracks and what the pitfalls of that endeavor, or like what your behaviors maybe even might be. And I feel like you're just really excited about something. I feel like you've got a lot of passion, a lot of drive, and you're really committed to doing something, making something happen. There is to me this feels like you're very young. So this might be and again, this doesn't have to be you. This can be somebody in your environment. This can be like role reversals, but I do kind of feel like there is a lot of like really, really active energy, and a lot of like not wanting to face the shadow, a lot of like not wanting to see what is hiding just beneath the surface, like not really like feeling comfortable maybe saying, like, well, if I invest in this, am I going to see a return on that? Or like, is this viable? Is this practical? Can I trust this person? Or if this is you who's experiencing a lot of this outward energy, this can just be like, do I feel comfortable with every side of myself? Can I sit in silence with myself and not, like feel uncomfortable, not feel like I have to fill the silence in some way? Or is it challenging maybe to accept the parts of your personality that aren't love and frickin' light? Okay, like I've been in this spiritual community, not online, but like in real life, for a long time now. And one thing that I would like to share with you that I've learned is that a lot of the times love and light comes from facing the dark. We have to get super, super comfortable with the realities of a situation and with the darkness, the things that make us really uncomfortable. Avoiding emotions that people label as low vibration is one of the most unhealthy coping mechanisms that we as human beings can have. Getting comfortable with the fact that you are having a human experience, and that you will need to cry some days, that you will need to acknowledge your fears and work through them, is what is going to actually get you to a place where you are sharing light, because light is birthed in shadow. So let's get a clarifier for you, card number 3. Okay, we have the 10 of Pentacles, we have the Star, and we have the Knight of Swords. Nice. So, yeah, whatever it is that you're building, we're just talking about light is birthed in the dark, and that to me is the story of the Star. And that to me is the point at which you're going to be starting to build your legacy, to be creating that bridge of truth, your inner truth, into the other, into the world, the things that aren't you. This is inspiration that you're going to be able to like bring into reality. And with this Knight of Swords, I feel like I'm just seeing, don't be so mental about it. If that kind of makes sense. Lavender is going to be a great plant for you to help you be less hard on yourself. I feel like there's a lot of like nitpicking kind of energy here, and a lot of like it can get into the place where it's like a bit obsessive, or a bit just like feeling really hard on yourself, just like the person who will like sweep the floor like twice a day because it's never clean enough. Like if you have that kind of an energy in your life, I feel like you're going to have the chance to work through that and to kind of detach through your mind. Again, Lavender's a great video, so like, or Herb, pardon me, so check that video out for you. It'll be a really good ally for you. And yeah, I wish you good luck with that. It's going to be a really, really good week for personal growth for you, a really good week for letting your emotions thaw out, I think, you know, getting back in touch with inspiration. It's gonna be good. Okay, awesome. That's it for you, card number 3. And that's it for this video. So if you're still here, thanks for tuning in. I hope that this video resonated. If it did, give me a like, subscribe, let me know what's going on, introduce yourself to me, and I'll see you in your next reading. Okay, bye.